Have you ever wondered about the difference between phasing and vibe?
I do every single day.
Do you?
Yeah.
You wake up.
Wake up. What is the difference?
What's the difference? I've always wondered. Well, we're going to show you right now, in case you've ever wondered. The vibe could kind of be considered like the original phaser or something. Kind of predates. I mean, the vibe came out in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Used
And one of the
famously.
first phasers, you knew that the famous orange pedal
Yeah,
came out
1974.
74, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 74. Maybe it's 73, but I think it was 74. And so the difference being, to me, well, let's just show it in sound. But we've set up kind of a typical kind of classic vibe sound, a typical kind of classic phaser sound similar to that orange phaser. So just playing a chord. That's the vibe. This is the phaser. Right, so the vibe is way more, it's warmer, it's got this lumpy, inconsistent kind of quality to it, and a phaser is more sort of a predictable sweep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. From a technical, more of a circuit perspective, they're actually quite identical. It's more how you tweak the little things that that makes a difference. And you can definitely take a vibe and make it sound more phaser, right? And you can take a phaser and make it sound more vibe-like. But I guess it's also very much a matter of the sounds and the songs that we're used to hearing. So, for example, if I think of a vibe sound, Machine Gun or Bridge of Sighs, Robin Trower would be like classic songs in that vein, whereas Eruption would be like maybe your classic kind of one of them. There's many.
Yeah. Eruption, and phasing to me is a bit more of a subtle sound, and Eruption's a good example of with the speed turned all the way down on one of those old classic orange phasers. It does this real slow sweep that you almost forget is even on when it's, you know what I mean? It's not like a real dramatic effect, so to speak, especially with the speeds set slow. And vibe to me always has more of this kind of like, I don't know. It's just more primitive, and it has that inconsistency to it that sort of alerts you to the fact that it's happening. Yeah. When you're holding a chord or something, or holding a single note. It's doing that to the note, right?
Compared to this one.
Which you hear, but it's smoother.
Yeah.
It's a smoother. It's not so. I'm doing this. So do you like this? My person. How's a phaser sound? How's a vibe sound? Oh man, I'm a knucklehead. Aren't I?
No, it works.
Why'd you guys have me here?
For that thing in particular. We'll do a whole library of sounds where you basically emulate effects like delays and reverbs.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So how's an overdrive sound? Okay. How's a distortion sound? What about a fuzz?
I can't do that. I'll spew like stuff all over the place.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, if you can switch them on and off if you want, and we'll just go back and forth. And then on your screen, you'll see some text telling you which one's on and which one's not. Yeah, almost made it.
Yeah.
The amp is up pretty loud right now. We got the amp cranked. My left ear is retaliating against me right now. What are you doing? But it sounds good.
Yeah, so Tool, cool sounds, sort of in the same family. We actually had to. We're talking about some David Gilmour stuff earlier, and we had to do a little Googling to figure out which one of different kind of classic Floyd sounds were actually made using a vibe, and which ones were made using a phaser. And
it sounds like when 74 rolled around and the phaser came out, he sort of started favoring it almost, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah. But there was only now I'm forgetting the exact, but he used it on Breathe, right?
Yeah.
On Dark Side.
Yeah.
The vibe, I should say.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff that you might think is vibe is actually Phase 90 that he did. Yeah. So, but it's interesting here that we've kind of illustrated, I think, pretty well the difference between the two sounds. Definitely in the same family, same ballpark, but there's differences for sure.
And maybe I'd say, if you only had to buy one of them, which would obviously be a shame, but if you had to, I'd probably say that I think with the phaser you can probably get closer to a vibe kind of sound.
I think so.
And kind of have more of a versatile pedal. Whereas if you really crave that kind of, I need that machine gun, liquidy kind of sound, the vibe is probably the one to go with.
The vibe is more of a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick.
It's a really good trick.
It's a really good trick, yeah.
You should have both, I guess.
I think so. It's interesting with vibes, although on your vibe here, there's this interesting feature where you can ramp it up and down. That's really cool, I think, the fact that you can do that by holding the foot switch. You can ramp between two speeds. Yeah. But I will say that when I set up a vibe live, I always kind of go for the same sound and almost the same speed, which is kind of what you hear here. That's what I always...
slow kind of...
Yeah, medium slow kind of, and that's the way I always set them. I don't know why, but phasers, I'm all of them map. I mean, sometimes I like them faster, medium fast kind of thing. For a rotary, they almost do like a... like if you speed this one up, where's the speed on there? On the,
it's this one.
Yeah, so you can kind of almost get a... almost like an organ Leslie kind of thing. I almost think of like organ comping chords or something with it. And they sound really good like that too. Maybe because it is a bit more of a subtle effect.
Yeah.
The vibe when they get up faster, many times it kind of takes over the sound, you know. And I wouldn't use it on chords necessarily, in that context. So,
Question. Yeah. We already discussed this in the vibe video. Placement of vibe is pretty much always before your drives.
Yeah.
What about phasing?
I like it in front of drive too, for the most part, but you can get away with it. It's just going to sound more dramatic when you put it after an overdrive.
Yeah.
I mean, we could demonstrate that actually.
Yeah, we could.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so do through the magic of editing.
Actually, what we have to do is we have to put the amp on a clean setting. Otherwise, it will always be on.
And then we'll
do this first.
Don't mind us. So. Oh, we're gonna use that drive? Okay.
Yeah, I think that will give us a way to hear how it sounds before drive.
Okay. So we switch them?
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so just a different sound. It can tend to be a little bit more pronounced or something, I think, post-drive, right?
And again, if you want, for example, the classic Eruption kind of sound, you want to place it in front because, Eddie was using a crank Marshall with a pedal in front.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's definitely some very valid later on sounds that sound cool with the phaser positioned afterwards.
Absolutely. There's some guitar players like Morello is a good example of a guy that used. I think he even put wah maybe in the loop of his amp, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like in the loop of the JCM 800 and flanger.
Yeah.
And stuff post distortion.
Yeah.
So there's some good examples of there's no rules basically. Whatever sounds good. If this sounds better to you, then set it up like that post drive. It's just for the most sort of classic recordings. It was all about in front.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, you can put it like this. You'd be wrong, but
you'd be wrong. But if you're right, then you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no wrong or right.
No.
It can sound cool, definitely post drive. Something about it being up front is cool, though. I just prefer it. I think it's just a little more subtle.
Yeah.
A little less pronounced.
And it seems to blend better, I think. That might be another word for the subtlety. It's like the two effects kind of merge together instead of the phasing kind of sitting on top of everything.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's at least to my ears. But
yeah. That's a good way to put it, I think. Yeah.
So there it is.
There it is.
Phasing versus Univibe.
Yep.
You do like a little kind of battling it out.
They should. They should battle it out. Yeah. Univibe's a little older, but it's still tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your grandpa style fighting. I'll hit you with your cane.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass, but I've got heart.